pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Oh, no, that's okay. Thank you. That brings us to approval of the agenda.
Motion to approve the agenda. Second.
All those in favor say aye.
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 Thank you. We will now have recognition for Deputy Chris Byram. I'll turn it over to Assistant Superintendent Jerry McCraw.
Thank you, Ms. Merrill. Thank you, board members, Dr. Houlihan. Good evening. Tonight, I recognize Union County Sheriff's Office Deputy and Weddington High School SRO, Chris Byram. On July the 11th, yesterday, Deputy Chris Byram of the Union County Sheriff's Office accepted the state's coveted C.C. McGee School Resource Officer of the Year Award. The North Carolina Association of School Resource Officers presented the award at their annual convention in Wilmington yesterday. Deputy Byram was chosen from a large pool of qualified SRO nominees dedicated to the safety and security of North Carolina's public schools, employees, and students. Deputy Byram is the first Union County Public Schools SRO to win that award. 1 out of 11. Congratulations. Deputy Byram embodies all the qualities we search for when selecting a school resource officer. Byram's dedication to the sheriff's office and his passion for working within our local schools is evidenced through his work and professionalism, said Sheriff Eddie Cathy. Deputy Byram also received the Union County Public Schools 2021-22 SRO of the Year Award in April. Byram has been with the Sheriff's Office for 17 years and has been an SRO at Weddington High School for 8 years, where he is well liked, and I'm going to say loved, by students and faculty. Congratulations to Deputy Chris Byram, and he's a good friend of mine.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Woohoo! Woohoo!
We do have a certificate for him signed by Ms. Merrill and Dr. Houlihan, recognizing him for this great accomplishment. Congratulations again.
Thank you, guys.
Woohoo!
Are you going to take the kids back to them?
Thank you for being here tonight. That brings us to public comments. At every regular meeting of the board, up to 60 minutes have been allotted for public comments. The board will not respond to public comments. However, a member may ask that the chair obtain clarification. Residents, parents, students, and employees of the district will receive priority on the list of speakers. If a speaker is not present when his or her name is called, the opportunity to speak will be considered waived. Only persons signed up may speak. Speakers may not give their time to another person or have someone speak on their behalf. Individuals may address the board for a maximum of 3 minutes. The board will not hear in open session complaints about the performance of school personnel, personnel issues, or confidential student issues. Should a speaker wish to seek information or share items that may not be shared during public comments, our staff are available to address your concerns or provide information. Dr. Brad Breedlove, Chief Academic Officer, and Assistant Superintendent Jared McCraw of Student Services are here to assist. We only have one speaker here tonight, Harold Schmucker.
Good evening. You guys previously about talk therapy that there's not different that since then administration's come out. 2021, we received one
dollars in taxpayer funds with $7 billion sitting in the bank, $569 million in direct COVID funds and $439 million in Medicare advance payments, $1 billion that went straight to their bottom line. Fear mongering apparently is highly profitable. Something else very concerning is they're pushing the latest COVID vaccine to infants. They're not telling mothers about the side effects or the dangers. This is actually in violation of Federal Code 21 that requires informed consent. They're not giving it. You have a partnership with Atrium. I know there are some good people there, but you have an important voice that should be heard. Your voice is much louder and will be more effective than just individual parents speaking out. As you've heard many times, when good people say nothing, evil triumphs. Speaking of evil, let me tell you a little bit about how bad the trial was for infants from Pfizer. 4,524 children were enrolled in that trial. 3,000 of them dropped out and didn't finish it. No reason given why. I'm sure you can figure that out. They had to make up their own definition for severe COVID because infants don't get severe COVID. So their definition was slightly elevated heart rate or a few more breaths per minute. That was their definition. After the first round of shots, 34 in the vaccinated group were positive this definition, 13 in the placebo group. This was ignored. Same thing after the second round of shots and the third round of shots. They waited until about several weeks after the third round, and they were able to get 10 cases where 7 were in the placebo, 3 were in the vaccinated group. So they approved this on 10 cases. It's stunning. You can't make this stuff up. Equally disturbing is the data from Pfizer on the 5 to 11-year-old trial. Pfizer's data says that in order to save one child's life, they have to vaccinate 1 million children, while at the same time, 102 children will develop myocarditis. As you know, 20% mortality rate with myocarditis, that means they're going to kill 20 children over the next 6 years to theoretically save one child's life. To add insult to injury, Atrium is refusing to see patients that won't bow to their mask rule. You fought hard and you fought often against the state to make masks optional. I'm calling on you now to use your influence and ask for some changes at Atrium. You have a voice. I'd love to see you guys use it and try to make some changes or take your business elsewhere. Thank you.
Okay, board, that concludes public comments and brings to the approval of open session meeting minutes from June 9th and June 21st.
So moved.
All those in favor say aye.
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 And that brings us to the consent agenda. I trust everyone has read all of the documents from each committee.
Motion to approve?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
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 I will point out that the facilities committee did approve the amended capital improvement plan for FY23 because $3.6 million needed to be cut since we were not funded for all of our capital projects. So you may want to, if you're not in facilities, please get familiar with that and what projects had to be cut since the budget was not approved. That brings us to the superintendent's report.
Thank you, Madam Chair. 2 items tonight, board members. Happy July. I wanted to say, first of all, a big shout out to our teachers, support staff, and site administrators for a great 3-week session in June from our Read to Achieve summer camp. This week, we have started our Summer Bridge Academy for our rising 3rd, 6th, and 9th graders. I had the chance today to get out to a couple of schools, and it's really, really awesome to see how many families and kids are taking advantage of this during the summer. So I want to say a big thank you to our teachers and our staff for all of your dedication and for all that you're doing to provide such meaningful opportunities for our students. As a reminder, these camps will run through the end of July. And second, we are hiring. We have a job fair tomorrow. So a reminder that our job fair will be tomorrow from 9 a.m. to noon at the Transportation Center on Gold Mine Road. We are hiring for positions in transportation, school nutrition, technology, custodial services, facilities, after-school programs, and substitute teachers. So come on out, and who knows, you may be offered a job right there on the spot. So we look forward to seeing the interest and to having our job fair tomorrow. Board members, that concludes my report. Thank you.
Thank you. And that brings us to policies and administrative guidelines for review. Mrs. Morris.
Yes, good evening, Member Board. You have 4 policies and 2 administrative guidelines for your review tonight. If you have any questions, I will try to answer those tonight. Thank you.
Thank you. Board comments.
Madam Chair, I have a comment.
Yes, Mr. Sides.
As my fellow board members are aware, last week we lost one of our board members that served when I first came on the board, Dr. Sharon Harrell. Ms. Merrill and myself and Dr. Harrell started off together, went through board training, and went through 2 years of very interesting times. And I had the opportunity to stay in touch, and she was one of the most uplifting persons despite many physical and other challenges. And I miss her, and I want to offer condolences to her family.
Thank you, Mr. Sides. I do want to remember Dr. Harrell tonight and her service to this board and to all of Union County. She was a social worker, and she spent most of her adult years serving in a great capacity, loving on families and children in the Monroe area. And I have spoken with her son, Timothy, and we look forward to getting more information from him soon on the celebration of life. And it was an honor and a privilege to not only be a board member with Dr. Harrell, but to be her friend and spend time with her in her home and her in my family's home. And she was very, very loved, and she loved this county, and she loved Union County Public Schools. And there isn't anything she wouldn't do for a child or a family, to the point of making sure their heat got turned back on, or if there was a medical need or food or diapers or formula or any other need, she went above and beyond to take care of our Union County Public School students. And in her memory, and to make everyone smile, hopefully make you smile, I'm going to just do one thing, because that's when you knew she meant business. So we love you, Dr. Harrell. Yep. Any other board comments?
Madam Chair, as former District 1 member, she came after I was on the board to District 1. And her and her son, Tim, we Monroe sidelines for football. And we loved our little shows, but she was quite the competitor, and we greatly appreciate it.
She loved her Monroe football. I have a great picture of her on my Facebook right now because she was so excited to go to the state championship and watch them earn that title. And she wanted to make sure that every one of those players got their ring. And so she is surely an example for each one of us that sit at this table. So thank you all very much for remembering Dr. Harrell. Are there any other comments? That brings us to announcements.
Policy will not have a meeting in July. Our next meeting will be August the 16th, 8 o'clock via Zoom.
And I apologize, I don't have any of my meetings up right now, so.
We'll get them updated, Kathy, on the website. Thank you.
The curriculum committee meeting will not be meeting the month of July.
Same with strategic planning, technology and transportation, no July meeting.
Okay, if there are no other announcements, I will accept a motion to adjourn.
So move.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye. Good night.